on to the bodyweight section now. So, basic abdominal exercises. So we're going to start with the abdominal curl. The abdominal curl predominantly works the upper abdominals, which are here, so that is your rectus abdominis. We do have some variations with the abdominal curl, so make sure that you adhere to the variation that is suitable for your level. So for example, the beginners will start with the hands on the thighs, then moving up to level 2, hands across the chest. Level 3, fingertips make a rigid cradle for the cranium, supporting the weight of the head, and the elbows are nice and wide. So what we do is we lie on the floor, feet are flat on the floor, spine is in neutral, and throughout this exercise we want to keep a nice distance between the chin and the chest. For example, the size of a tennis ball. We're not looking straight up to the ceiling, we're actually looking to the diagonal, so where the ceiling meets the wall. So we're going to start with level 1. Shoulders are back and down, hands are just going to slide at the thighs. If that's too easy, move on to level 2, hands across the chest, relax the neck, keep the chin lifted, move into the diagonal. Smooth movement. Still too easy, move on to level 3, and that is fingertips are rigid, elbows are nice and wide, keep that chin lifted. Crunching up to the point where we feel that's our stop point, the abdominals are doing the work. So that is the abdominal curl. When you're ready to move up, we could give alternatives such as the plank. So the plank is much better at working the whole core, which is right through a rectus spinae, which is through the back, transversal deep abdominal lower muscles, as well as the obliques at the side and the rectus abdominis. If we started with a plank, ideally we would give a couple of options. So we may start with a 3/4 plank, so that we're resting on the fleshy part just above the knees. Neck is relaxed and in neutral, and we just lift the lower body off the floor. Once we're ready to progress, we may move on to full plank, feet are hip distance apart, toes are turned under, and we just lift. And back down. If we do choose the plank options, make sure we are maintaining a good level of support through the body. We're not dipping the hips down, and we're keeping the back in control. Another body weight exercise that we can do is for the pectorals. So it may be we want to mix things up with free weights, body weight and resistance machines. So the press up or the push up is going to work the pectorals, which are right through the chest. Again, in the same way as the abdominal curl, we have different variations, so choose the variation that's right for you. 3 main levels of press up. We have the box press up, the 3/4 press up, and the more commonly known full press up. So, box press up, knees are hip distance apart, hands are roughly shoulder distance. Sometimes the mats do get in the way, so just make sure the hands are just slightly outside of the shoulders. Keep the abs in. Relax the head and the neck. And guard those elbows as we come back up to the start position. We do not lock the elbows out. 3/4, we cross the feet at the back. We rest on the fleshy part of the knees, so just above the kneecap there, not directly on the knees. Hands ideally a little bit wider than the shoulders. We push forward. Abs are in. We stay in control with the hips. We don't let them drop down. And when we progress, hopefully we'll get to full press up stage. Ideally, the full press up can be done with the feet just slightly hip distance apart. If we have the feet together, that's going to reduce the surface area for our bodies to kind of gain resistance against. So ideally, let's just place the body position a little bit more evenly by using feet roughly hip distance apart. and drop down into your start position. Ideally, we encourage people to work with a balanced approach. Therefore, if you have work to the anterior or the front of the abdominals, we should really work the posterior or the posterior chain in terms of the back muscles, such as the erector spinae, which runs the full length of the spine. The way that we do that, we would use a dorsal raise, or also known as a back extension. Similar to the ab curl, we have different variations. One of the most important things with this exercise is to not let the glutes take over. So this exercise is for the back, not the glutes. So we should see minimal movement through the lower body. So we have level 1, which is with the arms by the sides. Level 2, hands come up to the side. And level 3, we'll do one arm, one leg, arm, opposite leg. All the time maintaining a nice flowing movement, neutral spine, relaxing that head and neck, looking down at the floor. Ideally, where you can, turn your toes towards each other through this movement, and that will switch off the glutes, and it won't allow them to fire up as much as it would if your feet were just facing forward. So lying in a prone position, toes are planted towards each other, let the heels drop out, let those glutes switch off. We're going to start with the hands down beside each side. So a smooth movement, lifting up and back down. Level 2, let's take the hands to chest level at our sides. If you're ready for progression, level 3, opposite arm, opposite leg. Alternatives for this exercise to progress it, we could move on to using a stability ball and lying over the stability ball as well.